Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's class is on Sankhya, Philosophy of Education, and in this video we will understand in the most simple way the meaning of Sankhya, exponents, metaphysics, epistemology and axiology, fundamental principles, aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching, role of teacher and students, discipline and school. And through these points, we will cover all the important things that we need to know for our exam, NET JRF, B.Ed, and also MA Education. This is our second class on Indian philosophy. The previous class was on Vedanta philosophy, and we have also taken classes on the various Western philosophies, idealism, realism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism. I will provide the link in the description below. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and also press the bell icon as we will be taking more classes on educational philosophy which are very important for your exam. So to start, what is Sankhya? It is Astika, which means an orthodox school of Indian philosophy. It is a Sanskrit word which means numbers. It is called numbers because this philosophy provides an understanding of reality by specifying the elements of universe in numbers, which we will discuss later in the upcoming slide. Sankhya also means divine or perfect knowledge. And this perfect knowledge basically means knowing the difference between Prakriti, which means matter, and Purusha, which means consciousness. All these terms may sound unfamiliar and uneasy to you, but I will tell you the meaning. This will clear you the concepts, and once it is clear, you will understand this Sankhya philosophy and find it very interesting. So this philosophy was founded by Maharishi Kapila Muni. His first work was Sankhya Sutra. Here you must be thinking in some books it is written as Sankhya and in some books it is written as Samkhya. Actually both are same, do not get confused here. You can either call it Samkhya or Sankhya, both are same. This philosophy of Kapila is also called Kapila Tantra and Kapila Darshana. It is also called Gyan Marg, which means path of knowledge. This philosophy is of dualistic realism, that means two realities which are Prakriti and Purusha. And we will understand this deeper in the later slide. Now, let us look at the exponents. Exponents means people who supports an idea or a philosophy. So these are the people: Kapila, Ishvara Krishna, Vijnana Bhikshu, Gaudapada, Vakaspati and Aniruddha. Now, coming to metaphysics. Metaphysics means reality, and reality according to this philosophy is of two types: dualistic realism, which are Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti means matter or body. It is unconscious, and even though it is unconscious, it is active. It have no beginning and no end. Prakriti is the cause of creation of the universe. It is the cause of everything that is there in the universe. You can see Prakriti through its effect. For example, water, trees, leaves, houses, mountains, etc. Prakriti is unintelligible and uncountable. For example, you can count the trees, houses, etc., but you cannot count the whole environment. Prakriti have three gunas, which means qualities. This is very important. The sattvas, rajas and tamas. Sattva deals with poise, lightness, illumination and joy. Rajas deals with dynamism, activity, excitation and pain. And the third one, tamas, deals with inertia, coarseness, heaviness, obstruction and sloth. The second reality is Purusha, which is not a body or intellect. It is soul. It is pure consciousness. It is inactive. It is neither cause nor an effect. However, it influences Prakriti. Purusha is independent and free. This Prakriti and Purusha are completely separate, but in the course of evolution, Purusha mistakenly identifies with the aspects of Prakriti. Next, epistemology. Epistemology means knowledge, And according to this philosophy, perfect knowledge is the knowledge of the distinction between Prakriti and Purusha. So according to this philosophy, there are three pramanas, sources of knowledge, which are Pratiksha, Anumana and Sabda. Pratiksha means perception. It is direct knowledge of an object gained through sense organs. This perception is of two types, Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa. Nirvikalpa Pratiksha means indeterminate perception. This is basically pure sensation. They are vague knowledge about an object. The second one is Savikalpa, which means determinate perception, a real perception which contains meaning about objects of perception. Next, Anumana, which means inference. This is drawing conclusion on the basis of evidence. For example, we see smoke and make an inference that there is fire which causes smoke. Next is Sabda, which means testimony. So this basically refers to the testimony of Shrutis and Vedas, which are the sacred Indian literature and scriptures. Now, coming to axiology. Axiology means values, and values according to Sankhya philosophy is to differentiate between Prakriti and Purusha, to attain liberation, which is Kavalya, to practice yoga, to follow Yama and Niyama. What is Yama and Niyama? We will understand it in the later slide. Now, let us look at the fundamental principles of Sankhya philosophy. Number 1, it is both theist and atheist. Theist because it accepts the Vedas, and atheist because it says that the world is not created by God. Next, Satkarya Vada. To understand this, let me tell you that in Indian philosophy, there are two theories of causation, the Satkarya Vada and Asatkarya Vada. Satkarya Vada, which is the pre-existence of effect in the cause, and Asatkarya Vada, which is the non-existence of effect in the cause. And Sankhya philosophy believes in Satkarya Vada, which is the pre-existence of effect in the cause. I'll give you an example of a wooden chair. So the wooden chair is already present in the wood even before it is made into chair, although in a different form. And this concept is logical when we apply it in the field of education. If we look at the teacher and the student, the teacher do not create any new ability in the student. He rather helps the student in realizing the ability which is already in the student. Next, it believes in dualistic realism, Prakriti and Purusha, which we have already discussed. Here an individual must differentiate between Prakriti and Purusha, and he is said to be in bondage until he is able to differentiate between the two. And Jnana or knowledge is the only means of liberation, which is Kavalya, and to acquire this knowledge, yoga is necessary. Next, this philosophy have 25 tattvas, which means elements, which are Prakriti, Purusha, we have already discussed, Mahat, which means the great principle, Ahamkara, which means ego, Manas, which means mind, Panchendriyas, which are the 5 sense organs. They are Kama, which means auditory, Tvak, which means contact, Chaksu, which means visual, Jiva, which means gustatory, and Nasa, which means olfactory. Next, Karmendriyas, which means motor organ or actions, which are Vak, which means vocal, Pani, which means manual, Pada, which means locomotion, Payu, which means excremental, Upastha, which means genital. Next, Tanmatras, which are the subtle elements. They are Gandha, which means smell, Rasa, which means taste, Rupa, which means light, Sparsha, touch, and Sabda, sound. Panchabhutas, which are the gross elements. They are Akasa, which is sky, Vayu, air, Tejas, fire, Ap, water, and Prithvi, which means earth. So together this forms the 25 elements. Now let us look at the aims of education. Number 1, to create discerning individual capable of attaining the perfection that is exist within him. So this basically means that Education must enable the students to realize and develop the potentialities that is already within him, to achieve self-realization. Next, to prepare the child to have positive attitude towards life. Next, to develop the mind, ego and intellect of the students. Next, to develop the differentiating ability in the child, to enable the individual to attain freedom from the miseries of life. Here, according to Sankhya, there are three kinds of miseries, which are Adhyatmik, which is intrinsic cause, the pain that we get from our body, mind, example headache, etc., is called Adhyatmik. Next, Adhibhutika, pain caused by other men, animals, birds, etc. And the third one, Adhidevika, which is supernatural cause, pain or misery caused by atmosphere, ghost, etc. The aims of education is to help the individual to attain liberation. Now, let us look at the curriculum. According to Sankhya, the curriculum must include Vedas, Upanishads and religious studies, and also natural science, physical science and yoga for discipline. Next, methods of teaching. According to this philosophy, the methods of teaching should be lecture method, discussion, question answer, experimentation and project method. So this is basically a method where the students have to apply the skills and knowledge that they have learned in the course of their studies to the problems they have to solve. Now let us look at the role of teachers. The role of teachers are to be a man of discipline, to be expert in the subject he teaches, to develop the innate potentialities of the child, to know the difference between Prakriti and Purusha, to attain freedom from the miseries of life, to attain liberation, Kavalya, and to practice yoga. Now let us look at the role of students. The role of students are to observe and learn from the environment, to practice yoga for discipline, to attain divine knowledge, which is the differentiation between Prakriti and Purusha, and to realize and develop their innate potentialities. Next, discipline. This philosophy emphasizes on strict control and discipline of mind and body. However, that discipline should be coming from within, self-discipline, rather than imposed by authority. So this philosophy have suggested in practicing the following 10 moral guidelines divided into two, Yama and Niyama for discipline. Yama can be regarded as social ethics, which include Ahimsa, which means non-violence, Satya, which means truth, Asteya, which means non-stealing, Brahmacharya, abstinence, and Aparigraha, which means non-accumulation. Next, Niyama, which can be regarded as personal observances. This includes Socha, which is cleanliness, Santosha, contentment, Tapas, which means penance, Swadhyaya, which means self-study, and Ishvara Pranidhana, which means surrender to God. Now coming to the last one, that is school. According to this philosophy, school is a place where the students learn social ethics. It is a place where they learn how to develop self-discipline, a place where they learn yogic practices, a place where they develop their inner potentialities, a place where they develop their differentiating ability. So that was all on Sankhya philosophy. I hope you liked the video. Please let me know in the comment below. Hit the like button, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.